everybody. Welcome back to Finnigan 40K. Thank you guys so much for watching my Crusade narrative from my Last Stand series. Got something new for you. I was thinking about possibly doing this after a few more Last Stand battles, but I am going to start it up now. It is going to be dubbed either Fight 'em Up Finnigan 40K or Finnigan 40K Fight 'em Up series. What it's going to be is, you can see there are several models in front of me. We have 8 Imperium models on your left, my right, and then 8 Xenos and Traders models. So this is going to be kind of like a Mortal Kombat bracket tournament. So I'm going to be picking from random pots here. We have the Traders and Xenos on this side, and we have the Imperium over here. I'll go through each model in just a sec in case you guys are possibly unfamiliar, or if you guys just want to see what's going on. I'm hoping they're pretty good on the camera. They look pretty good from here, so you'll be seeing them closer up anyways when we start the battles. So what this is going to be, it's going to be 8 fights, so there are 16 models here, and that's going to move up to through a bracket tournament. So at the start, I know I can't promise it throughout the entire thing. It is going to be Trader and Xenos versus Imperium, so it will be good versus bad, bad versus good, whichever side you guys play for. And this is going to probably take place on maybe like a 24 by 24 inch table, so it's going to be very small, very quick fights. And of course, luck is going to come into play with the dice rolls, but we're going to see which model comes out on top. If this goes well, I'm hoping to possibly have kind of a heavyweight competition. So I'd consider this one medium weight. I've pulled models that are hero models as well as, no, they're pretty much all hero models, at least from the Imperium side. On the Xenos side, it's a little bit different. They're more generic, but they're still strong enough to hold their own. And whoever wins this tournament, I think I might enter into the heavyweights. And the heavyweight competition is going to be the massive Tyranid models. It will be Demon Primarchs, it will be Primarchs, it will be things like that. So see how it goes. Sadly, my Imperial Guard probably won't make it to that level. Just none of their models are strong enough unless I put in like a Rogel Dorn tank or something versus, I don't know. We saw Magnus last battle chop a Chimera in half, so you never know. I'll have to see. But first things first, we're going to start picking these. I'm going to be writing them down just to track to make sure that I fill up our bracket correctly. The first battle, don't know if it's going to happen super soon, but it's going to happen, you know, soon enough. And from there, I might record several in one chunk and then upload them kind of a little bit spaced out, but I don't see the battles taking too long to shoot, so it should be good. Anyways, here we go. So I'm going to list off the models that we have here first. So starting on your left, my right, we have Lord Solar Leontis. If this is your first video watching Finnigan 40K, I have had a Cadian slash Astra Militarum Imperial Guard narrative crusade that's gone on. It was 7 battles this time. I definitely plan on doing that in the future. I got a whole bunch of models behind me here that are the Death Corps of Krieg, and I'm going to make a more diversified kind of Astra Militarum force. That's further down the road, probably in a few months. And I also want to get back into my Last Stand series, and you might see some of these models with their forces as well doing that. So the other channel I have, or the other playlist I have, is called Last Stand series, and it pits not a character model, but not a named character model, with 3 units from each Imperium force. There's also going to be some Xenos and Traders in there too in the future, and they take on a set Tyranid force. So that's for other videos if you guys want to check out that playlist, and I hope to get back to that soon as well. But I wanted to get this one going. Might be really quick videos, could get some really good views and get interest going. So we will now move into the models in front of me. I'll show you guys who we have. So we have Lord Solar Leontis, as I stated. He is Astra Militarum, so he's my sole Astra Militarum model here, kind of the only one that is in this echelon of characters. We have High Marshal Halbrecht from the Black Templar, so you know that is a successor chapter of the Imperial Fists. Very good model. We're going to see how he does. I have a big Templar army too. I thought about maybe doing a crusade with them in time, but that's way down the line. We have Azrael, who you guys saw with 3 other named character models as a Dark Angel Force in Last Stand series. So if you want to see how he did, you can go to my playlist and check that out. Azrael, great ranged attacks. Melee is pretty good too, but he's going to be in there mainly for his shooting, and we'll see how that goes. We have Grandmaster Voldus of the Grey Knights. I also have a large Grey Knight army, and you know, maybe one of their knights, like the big walking knights, might be in that heavy hitter. But for now, we have Voldus in there. Fantastic melee hammer, so we'll see how that goes. Adrax Agatoni, or Adrax Agatone of the Salamanders. He is a captain there. Very, very good melee. Great weapon, short range. We'll see how he does. Kavan Shrike, probably one of the weaker models here. He is the chapter master for the Raven Guard. They were in one of my battles in the Crusade. They were aiding the Cadian in a fight. He's probably, as I said, one of the weaker models, but he's very fast. So I'm going to see if I can take advantage of that and fly around the board, see what's going on. We have Marnius Calgar, who was in my previous Crusade as well. You know, you guys know him from Space Marine 2 as well. Went in, helped out Lieutenant Titus, and fought, you know, some greater demons and stuff. So, you know, he's going to be pretty good. I know he's fought Abaddon in a couple of previous battles too, so we'll see how he does. We have Torgaradon of the Imperial Fists, another great melee character, a little bit slower. We'll see how he does, but you never know who he's going to get linked up with. He might make it to the second round, or if he just gets lucky, maybe he'll win. You never know. Starting on the Trader and Xeno side, we have Abaddon the Despoiler in the middle. Probably the strongest model here, and I was thinking about maybe replacing him with Chaos Lord in Terminator armor, something like that, because he is quite a bit stronger. But I don't know, we could maybe see him and Lord Solar Leontis in the same bracket, and also if luck plays its way, you never know. I'll be using the abilities for each model too. That's going to play into this also in regards to, you know, possibly being able to resurrect lost wounds, abilities that they have, stuff like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all that plays in. We have Typhus, the first captain of the Death Guard. So he is Nurgle. He was also in one of the Crusade fights. Didn't move too quickly. Kind of didn't get into the fight. In this one, he's going to definitely be getting into a fight because the border is going to be so small. But he can deal some major damage, and Typhus might be one to watch out for too. We have the Abominant, that is a Gene Stealer cultist. On the weaker side here, but ability to regenerate wounds. So if I get good rolls with that, he might be sticking around for a long time. Also in my Cadian Crusade, very, very hard to kill. So we'll see how that goes. We have a Tyrannid Death Leaper, which is pretty much a Lictor, but a larger version of that. So you guys saw the Lictor in Space Marine 2. The Death Leaper is stronger, more wounds. So we'll see how they do. Some very good abilities too. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. A Tyrannid Broodlord. So this is not the Patriarch. The Patriarch was in one of my Gene Stealer battles during the Crusade as well. This is the Broodlord. Not as psychically powered, but very, very good in hand-to-hand melee. No ranged weapons. Moves quickly. So if this thing gets into hand-to-hand with some of the weaker models or gets some good rolls, very possible that it'll go far too. We have the War Boss in Mega Armor, who made an appearance in our Last Stand series, was the final model. We'll try to take on the Carnifex there. Very, very good kind of stay in there model. Great save. He's got a little Gretchen on his back. His buddy there, I forgot what I called him, Grink or something. Gretchen? I don't know. But he is the lone orc model here. Also was in my Crusade 2. During the Last Stand at Oil Camp Omega. And again, if you guys want to check that out, the playlists are there for Last Stand series and for my Cadian Crusade narrative. Second last here, we have Ariman. I wanted him on his Disc of Tzeentch because it's going to make him move a little bit quicker. Also has some very good abilities, has the Cabal of Sorcerer, so that's going to be a little pool that he can dive into with his Cabal points. Just check and see how much he has again to confirm. He has 3, so there's some pretty good Cabal sorcery stuff from that. We'll see how he does. He might be... He went down pretty quick in the Cadian fight versus the Thousand Suns, but we'll see how he does. And then last but not least, the one and only Karn Betrayer. I am a huge Khorne fan. My number 1 army is Cadian. My number 1 Space Marine army is Crimson Fists. I wanted to put Pedro Cantor in here. I didn't. But my number 1 Chaos Space Marine army is Khorne. The World Eaters. So they were also in my Cadian Crusade and actually almost handed my Cadians a loss, but the Cadians got lucky in that fight. Karn is fantastic in hand-to-hand combat, tons of attacks, and he's got a pretty good plasma pistol too. It's short range, but we'll see how it goes. So that's a little bit of each of the models. And if you guys, again, want to check them out in previous fights, check out my playlists. So we're going to start this up. This is going to be the very first round. So it's 8 fights, 16 models. It's going to be, right off the bat, good versus bad. So good being Imperium, bad being Xenos and Traitors. So we have in the first fight, a Ryman on his Disc of Tzeentch. I'm just going to write these down as I go so I don't forget that. Versus, I shook these up earlier, don't remember who was who. Versus Marneus Calgar. Ooh. So what are you guys calling for that? We have a Ryman versus Marneus in the first fight. See how it goes. It's going to be interesting. So I'll actually pop them up here so you guys can see them taking each other on. So it should be on your left side, on my right. So there we go, our first battle. Second battle is going to be Typhus. I pity whoever's going to be fighting him from the Imperium side, but let's see if it's somebody strong. Kavan Shrike. We'll see. Typhus is super slow. Kavan is super fast. I'm not sure he's going to be able to penetrate Cataphracti Terminator armor that's over 10,000 years old, but we'll see how Kavan does. So we'll pop them up. So that is going to be our second fight, is Kavan versus Typhus. I'll do the Imperium first this time. We have Adrax Agatoni, or Agatone. I think it's Agatoni, but there's no Exante Goo or anything on there. Oh no, versus Abaddon. So you know what, that works. Adrax is a salamander. They hate chaos and they love humanity, so that's a pretty good fight because Abaddon represents everything that Adrax hates. So there we go. Good luck, buddy. Hopefully you can take it. We have Abaddon the Despoiler, the War Master of Chaos, versus Adrax Agatoni. I'll pull from the Imperium again here. We have High Marshal Halbrecht. I'm actually really excited to see how he does because I haven't used Black Templar in too many battles. I don't know if I've ever used them actually. I just love the models. I have a bunch, but we'll see in the future. Versus a Death Leaper. So that's going to be a really good scrap. The Death Leaper has only melee, but it's got a bunch of stealth and stuff, so we're going to see. So that's our next fight, is Halbrecht, High Marshal Halbrecht versus the Death Leaper. Switch back over here to the Chaos Space Marines and Xenos. So the next one is Broodlord. So it's funny, the two Tyranid models got pulled out right beside each other. Versus Azrael. Oof. So we'll see how that goes. If the Broodlord gets into hand-to-hand combat, hopefully Azrael will be able to hold them off, but there's our next fight there. So Azrael versus, I'm going to actually switch these guys around just so we keep it going. So Imperium, 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 Xenos, Xenos, Traitor, Traitor, Traitor. All right, next one, our War Boss in Mega Armor. I also pity whoever's going to be fighting him because he is one heck of a model. And it's going to be Grandmaster Voldus. That actually might be a pretty good scrap. Voldus is going to move slow, but so does the War Boss. And that hammer that Voldus has might be able to crack that Mega Armor. So we'll see what happens. So our next fight is the Orc War Boss in Mega Armor versus Grandmaster Voldus of the Grey Knights. And let's see who's up next for our Imperium. We do have Lord Solar Leontis versus Karn the Betrayer. Oof. You know what? I said it many times, and you guys will see that in the battle and see how he does. Leontis is a pretty damn good model. So we are going to see that's going to be a good scrap. And our last fight here is going to be Torgaradon versus the Abominant. Don't have much space left for them. Move these guys down a bit. And I'll just pop them right on the corner here. There we go. So there it is. Our Fight 'em Up series for 40K has been decided for the first round of what I'm deeming my middleweight class. So we have, to sum up, Marneus Calgar versus Ryman, Kavan Shrike versus Typhus, Adrax Agatoni versus Abaddon, High Marshal Halbrecht versus the Death Leaper, Azrael versus the Broodlord, Grandmaster Voldus versus the Orc Warboss in Mega Armor, Solar Leontis versus Karn the Betrayer, and Torgaradon versus an Abominant. Excited to get this one going. Stay tuned. I will definitely be posting on my Instagram, so hashtag Finnigan 40K or at Finnigan 40K if you guys want to find me. And really hoping to get some views here. If you guys can, please subscribe, like. Don't want your money. I love doing this stuff. Great creating free content, teaching some people a little bit about Warhammer 40K. And if you guys want to teach me anything too, because I don't use these armies all the time, and you see something that's weird or maybe a strategy I should have used for that single character, let me know. And yeah, thank you guys for watching so far. I've had some really good views on the Last Stand series on my Crusade. It's nice. I'm not, you know, a view hunter or anything, but just putting something out there that's a passion that I've loved for so long. I've been collecting since '97. It's really fantastic. So I'm super excited to get this going. I want to thank Matt for giving me the idea of these. I was like trying to figure out I was going to be rolling dice and everything. He's just like, how would you just draw out of a hat or something? So there it is. And also to my brother, Yogai, Tim Finnigan. I remember playing way back in the day at like, we went to summer vacation sometime and we had a bunch of just singular Warhammer models back in the day, like the old school Space Marine Captain with Terminator honors versus like the old school Pedro Cantor model, and we did this kind of thing way back then. So it kind of gave me that idea just to do it, and I really hope it goes well. I'm going to be recording them as soon as possible, probably in the next little bit, and yeah, I'll post them when they're ready to go. Thank you guys again. That's it. Chris Finnigan, Finnigan 40K, signing off. Thanks.